Right, Yogi. So let's start in that restorative fish posture this morning. We haven't done this one in a while, and it's such a great start here. Get a lot done on many levels. Taking those blocks behind you, block under the upper back. Remember, restorative fish is block under your hips, and this one is block under the ribs. All right. If you want more, you take your head to the floor. Maybe reach your arms back, bring the soles of the feet together. Block should be underneath the upper back, not the middle back. Let's start our meditation here, our breathing. Remember, this is one of my favorite positions to develop the abdominal breathing. So you try to breathe into your abs, belly, lower back a little bit more. And I like to even work on holding the breath there. Remember that there's this vagal nerve, and a lot of people always say it connects to your digestive tract, right? It does. It connects to every aspect, and your heart and your lungs. And it is a cranial nerve that connects to your parasympathetic brain. But we also know that there's all these like tiny little, let's call them like hair fibers that come off the nerve, and they innervate the whole fascial matrix around the torso, core, hips. That's key, right? Because so breathing and stimulating this nerve can really release our body physically on a very deep level. So stimulating that vagal nerve through the abdominal breathing here. Another good way to stimulate the vagal nerve is like chanting, vibrating your lips. So things like oming, they vibrate the vagus nerve running down through the throat. And that's another way to stimulate that nerve that might help your body release tension, relax, heal. So just some deeper anatomical, physical awareness there as you're holding that position. You're opening up the spine, the inner thighs, maybe the chest, correcting your posture, but then maybe you can stimulate a neural state that induces healing and better decision making, parasympathetic. All right. If you're just joining, we were doing a restorative fish posture. Sorry, I demonstrated it for a while, but you're laying on the block under the upper back, letting the soles of the feet come together, knees open. You're welcome to hold that longer if you want, but I'm going to keep going here because we've already been in it a few minutes. Okay. So we'll bring our knees together, sit up slowly or roll to the side, and let's make our way to our back, please. So just so you're aware, I do have a strap handy and blocks, okay? Let's bring our knees into our chest and our back. Take a moment here. I'll give you 30 seconds for, rolling out ankles, moving knees. The idea is your legs are bearing your weight all day, and that tightens. Weight bearing tightens. So you take the weight off of weight bearing body, and then you move it a lot more freely. Toes wiggle and spread. Arches of feet articulate, ankles roll. Knees bend and straighten kind of actively to get more range through there. And then again, you can circle your knees together, you can circle your knees apart. These are all just very subtle, simple things that we don't really do enough in other classes. It's really good to do this stuff, guys. you just got a really big stretch, a still position, and then you move, right? So there's a kind of contrasting, countering energy, and then we would activate and continue to move. So what's the most basic here is that good old bridge. So good for strength, performance, and rehab, feeling better. I'll start with my arms down by side. You can put a block between your hip thighs if you'd like. You're gonna nice and slow, pressure lower back down, lift those hips, pause, and then lower down. Now, some days I'll have you hold, some days I'll have you move. I'll kind of let you decide this morning. Do you want to do a hold? Do you want to move up and down? Or do you want to do a little combo? Some mornings I like to kind of go up and down, get some blood flow going. Depends on how much you've been moving in your life. If you've been still, sitting a lot, if you've been moving a little too much, maybe you go up and you hold. You work some details, posterior tilt, press the big toe down. Let me give you another good minute or so for some bridge work of your choice. You could move your arms as you lift the hips, reach back. You can articulate that core a little bit, really slowing down, exaggerating how your spine articulates in the floor. If you're feeling excellent, you could do one-legged work. There's many ways to do this. So I'm trying to get you to I'm giving you direction, giving you some options so you can practice making an informed decision based off what your body's telling you. There's many good options here for certain circumstances. Try to listen to your body. Now that can be a trap because you might always take it too easy, right? It is really good to do a little work in the body. You won't build strength unless there is stress on muscles, let's say, or joints. So just keep that in mind. You have to find days where you recognize you need to push yourself a little, but then a lot of us might need to take it easy more. So different advice and suggestions for different people on different days. Last moments here. Remember, you can do bridge cold. First exercise of the day. It's totally safe. It's literally meant for people who are like rehabbing, coming off injury. It is a rehab exercise. It's really not a peak exercise. It's a warm up, okay? So let's meet with our knees into our chest. Let's get that asymmetrical stuff going here. Soles of the feet are kind of facing forward now. Knees are over my hips. I keep going, you catch up. This is tabletop but on your back, right? You do this on your knees a lot. Pressure lower back down. That's the key activation. Inhale, right leg goes forward, left arm goes back. Feel your abs now engage across the body. Notice my right arm and left leg didn't move. Exhale, table, let's call it. Left leg, right arm. So it is opposite sides, please. At that point, I want to press my lower back down. Table, inhale, right leg, left arm. A pause, a push into the lower back down. Exhale, inhale, left leg, right arm. Press the lower back down. Back up. I'll give you another 30, 45 seconds. It is abs, right? So it's crossing the arm to the opposite leg. If you want more, you can do like straight legs. You can crunch up in the upper body. If you want less, just do the leg. It's very personal. If I were to do a private with each one of you and we tried to follow this sequence, I'd ask you your goals, I'd read your body, and we'd make decisions in the moment, even though the sequence is set. This is what you hear too much in yoga. This is good yoga, this is bad yoga. This is right, this is wrong. That is an amateur mind state. It is not an aware mind state. There's so much context in those types of sentences. So that's why I give a lot of options, because it's not the same. It's not the best. So when you're done with your abs, we did a nice back body activator. We did a nice front body. activator. Don't forget, by doing things like bridge, you're encouraging relaxation here by activating its antagonist. Now we activate there. Let's do our twisting movement warm up, guys. One of my all-time favorite therapeutics. I'll bring my knees into my chest because I'm going forward. We'll bring the knees over to the side. I do want a nice long spine, yogis. So I'm kind of lengthening here. Right arm out, left arm out, on top of the right hand. Inhale, I'm rolling my left shoulder toward the earth, spreading my chest actively. And if I'm pretty flexible, I actually press the back of my hands down in that end range. Okay, exhale. I can even press my palms together. That is a chest fly. That's a certain exercise. Inhale. And I even press the arms down. In more advanced, you press your thighs together and the back of your hands down, and then exhale. That's more active and easier. It's just kind of like this. More complex range is circling your arm like this. See, that's kind of the same, but a little bit more of an arm circle. Okay, I gave you too many options. Let's not be too critical of the physical, and let's make it a meditation of breath and body. If there's another dynamic core spinal rotation twisting exercise you prefer right now, that's fine. It's like the grocery store. You be checked in with the breath and the meditation and the grounding to start. So you walk in and you get the vegetables, the most important, but now you're getting the fruit. You know, your spinal twist is a fruit you want. You have to pick a fruit. It can be a lot of different fruits. It might change which fruit you get each week, what's in season. But then you got to go and get maybe some grains, and that's going to be next, right? You know, if the sequence is set in the forms, but the form you pick, it can change. All right, so make sure we do the second side. I want you to get like a good 12 to 15 of those in there, right? You're basically like this, yogis, on your back. Now your knees drop to the second side and you're doing this. I had you push your hands in the back of the ground if you feel good. That's this. I had you squeeze your knees together. That would be saying maybe a block between your thighs. How can you do this in a way that's good for you and make an intelligent decision? Doing what feels good is a very clear aspect of self-love and self-care, but that can get carried away. Just eating what always tastes good on the tongue, the sweet, the salty, the fatty, that can be very dangerous. Bitter on the tongue is very good, and that's a great example to a bitter exercise can be good for your body as well. Too much kind of gluttonous yoga sometimes, only doing what feels good. That is also a trap. That's where the observer must come in, and when it gets too subjective like that, oh, it has to feel good. So be your own observer and kind of witness. Where do you have that kind of the tendency to make a certain style of choice, and go into your own comfort zone on good days to start. And then all of a sudden you'll kind of like being outside of your comfort zone, right? Let's keep it going, guys. Let's meet back in center, no rush. That side wasn't nearly as long. I'm just gonna keep going here. Take a moment. I wanna do one more solid bridge hold. It's kind of like our first two together, let's say, bridge and angle. If you missed our first posture, we held a stretch like this on blocks for a while. So, this might be a little bit more restricted. Soles of the feet are gonna come together. This is a beginner posture. You're just not used to it maybe. Arms down by side, grab your mat if you want, stabilize. Press the feet together lightly, big toe. Press the outer edge of your feet down. You do not need to lift high, but you will feel your butt right up, guys. The butt is on, all right? I lift my hips, I posterior tilt, which means I take the arch out of my back by pulling my belly in and bring my pubic bone up. My knees open as my hips lift. Last few breaths. If you want a little bit more glute and you know you need some strength in that core, a little pulsing will do you good. Okay, that is button rotation. We're doing something right with it. Lateral straight leg lifts. Down, roll onto your side. I'm kind of picking it up a tiny bit now. This is like half moon, but done in an isolated form. It's super good for you. Either pad your head or put your head at a block. You can bend your bottom knee. I do not want to see this, yogis. It's a very bad habit, is to curl into a ball in the spine or in the hips. Long, tall body. It's like a bridge on your side. Left leg lifts, pause, lower down. You want more? You can do it like this. Left leg lifts, pause, left leg lowers, hover. Okay, there's stronger, there's lighter. What do you need today? You didn't sleep good last night, you should probably do softer. You have back pain, you probably should do soft. You had a stressful week, you should probably do soft. There's a lot of factors coming into the decision on how and what and why you're doing your exercise. If you had a stressful week, adrenaline-based exercise not recommended. Sorry spin, sorry jogging, sorry power yoga, not serving me today. My adrenals have been fatigued all week. My body's inflamed from my emotional mind state. I have to do something a little bit more. You can do like bike, but it'd be light. It wouldn't be like, ugh. And it wouldn't be the challenging yoga. I'd like you to do your second side, please. After a beginner is like, if you have back pain, it's like less strain. So it's like 6 reps. If you are feeling really good, you're working towards like 15 to 20 reps there, right? You're really pushing into where I'm not good at, where I emotionally, it's the emotion that changes the body. Okay, let's be clear there. Emotion is what changes the body. And that's why if you're stressed all week, that emotion is changing the body probably in a negative way. And that's why we don't want to encourage that in exercise. You know, so notice where you've been at. Emotion, stress won't sleep as good either. You have to take it really easy, and you use this exercise to soothe all that. Okay, you get a lot of like endorphins. If you do strong exercise, you're getting dynorphins. So, you know, there's a lot of different things happening chemically. You do your second side, get into it, guys. Can I show you one more time? Because it looks like some of you are doing this thing. Here's your angle, guys. You're not like this. You're not like this. You're like this. It's like a bridge, literally. It's like you're exaggerating bridge there. And then your leg is straight and you're going like this. Not like this, not like this. Awareness. Awareness of what exercise I'm doing. Awareness of what my week was like and yesterday was like. And you're applying that into the current awareness. Awareness of the breath. That's yoga. It's not just doing the exercise, it's learning to make better choices. Athletics kind of, you know, we get this thing drilled into us like work hard. You're lazy if you work, don't work hard. It's bad to sleep a lot. You know, like go work hard all the time. It's very clear that we basically know that, you know, the cortisol from hard exercise, it can be really damaging, and you don't want that too often, okay? A few days a week. Back in the center, guys, there's your laterals. So we did strong back rotation into laterals. Those two work together, the last two, okay? Bring your knees into your chest. Let me give you some stretching. I'm not gonna hold this too long today. The strap. Let's do it, guys. Right after this, you're gonna get your counter, your final thing on your back. Now, This is a special strap, so you can see it stretches. It's a really nice one, by the way, if you don't have one like this, because I can like stretch like this and it stretches. How do you want to do this today? Most days you're just gonna hold, right? It's really good, but there's many forms of really, awesome stretching where you kind of do some like leg swing and you pull. I just want to be clear that you don't like pull and jerk. It's a swing and then you pull in the end range a little. This is a really nice way to stretch, guys. That's linear. There's also kind of like circling. We have all regulars, guys, and I like to give more options because I don't know what's best. I do all this stuff. It depends on the day, my patterns and habits recently. So look at this one. I'm opening here and then I'm closing across. You already did a warm-up twist. You already did warm-up laterals and leg swings forward. You did all of it. You're ready to do something if you want. So look at this big circle. All right. Advanced stretching is pulsing. Just to be clear, this is the one where you want to be extra cautious. Pulsing on the end range in stretching. Strength is for beginners, pulse, but not stretching. So if you're doing something static, you're probably going to open now. They do stretching like this. You see this dynamic swing? Neutral, leg out and rotate. Just be careful. If you got back pain, you probably don't want to do that one maybe. Okay. They do this one where you go across. Remember last Thursday, if you'll peek up at me, I had you do this. I had you do this. It's basically the same thing, right? Active. We do this all the time. You do dynamics all the time with me, yogis. You just might not be as used to it down there. Get into it. Let me give you another 20 seconds on this leg to do your third part. If you're doing a twist, don't overdo the same patterns. I cannot express how important it is to do new things, not only in exercise, but study new things, do new artistic things, visit new places. That's an obvious one, right? Try new like foods and stuff. That's key for keeping your brain young and growing. And we're all about that in yoga. We don't want to just not let the body deteriorate, muscles and bones and joints, but the mind, the conscious, intelligent mind must do new things. You must get outside your comfort zone. You have to. If you don't, you're trapped. Okay, your brain plasticity. Neuroplasticity slows at 25 years old. As soon as your brain is fully formed, boom, neuroplasticity goes way down. You're like this. The chart neuroplastic growth is going up, up, up. Then you hit 25. It goes like this. Bam! It goes way down. So you have to remember, because that's when at 35, all your subconscious is programmed. Your attitude, your personality is programmed in the subconscious. Let's do our second side if you haven't, please. So the older you get, the more important it is to do new things, and it's more difficult. That's your homework assignment. I want you to do something you never thought you'd do this week. I want you to go somewhere, skydive or something. That's the one I'm scared of. That's the one I'm gonna like challenge myself to do one day. It's the one thing I'm like making a million excuses not to do. What else is a big thing that people are scared of? Scuba diving, going on a, doing something really new. That's what I want your homework assignment to be, and report back next week. Take a week or read a book that you really don't want to read. That's a big one too. Like, we tend to read stuff, watch stuff that we really prefer. And that's two in our line. Do something new this week, homework assignment. So you're doing your second leg with the strap. A lot of you look like you're moving. And remember, you might find one leg that's tighter, stickier. Do that like a little more. They do not have to be the same timing. People get all critical on that too in yoga. I don't understand it. You're like, we didn't do the left side exactly the same side on the right side. Yeah, you're not supposed to. You're holding this pose. You need more work on this side, maybe, right? What side is less developed? Let this side catch up to this side. All right. All right, so I want to do one more posture on our back. You guys keep going. I demonstrate so you can kind of move right into it. It is the restorative bridge. If you want to do a big pose instead, more active bridges, you're like, Bob, I need more strengthening. Awesome. What a good choice. We've been strengthening all week on Zoom, so I want to give you that 4th class in the week to go passive. Restorative bridge. This is the counter because look, yogis, your legs were up here. It was pinched in the hip flexor. It's like this is kind of the forward bend. Now it's the back bend. The counter. You did open hip, you did rotation. Got it? Now, big pose. Make sure your block is low and go slow. This is the big one. It's the big hip flexor lengthener. But just notice how low my block is, guys. Look at that. My back arch is here. The block is underneath like my tailbone almost. It's called your coccyx. Under your even sacrum. Let's take a few breaths here. A minute or so more at least. Go back to your breathing, yogis. You know, I get into like some serious lecture. I talk too much sometimes. Slow down your mind. Stop thinking so much. Smooth, slow inhale. Smooth, slow exhale. All right, now that's a big pose. That's often done easy, but back pain people, you really don't want to hold that long. People new to it, minute to 2. You know, people seasoned practitioners, you can hold longer, but even someone who's very practiced, this can be a lot. You pushing bones through space, you're just draping your body passively over an object, right? So, you know, better to err on the side of caution most days, right? Excuse me. Let's keep going, guys. I want to make our way up. Maybe a quick happy baby will do you good. That's where you take forward bend. You know, intermediate practitioners who are, again, very seasoned, feeling good. You know, something like this might be good here. We did strap stretching, so you don't necessarily need to, but this is called plow. It's a big one. Easier is happy baby. Easiest is here. Knees in the chest, Apanasana. Basically the main yoga pose is the child pose, yogi squat, and this is how you do it on your back, okay? When you're ready here, guys, let's rock forward and back. Take as long as you need. Can we meet up in tabletop once you massaged out your back a little bit? I'm gonna just give you a moment here, cat-cow. I'll mention it, I won't take too long as a group, but I'll mention so you can personalize. You know, we did some very linear movements. So taking like a circle in, you know, loosening up around there, you know, turning the back of the wrist down, stretching the wrist. Either way, choose your spaces here. We'll eventually meet in down dog. Maybe you want a little extra down dog instead of all that. Depends on where you're at. Notice if your down dog feels nice and open from the reclining stuff. Strap stretching, bridges, really waking up, stimulating your core. And if down dog's a little too much, there's always good old child pose. And if you're feeling excellent, headstand. You know, you create muscle memory and everything is memory in the body. And you're creating your memory. So you want to teach your body a certain style of memory, right? You want to remind it in the memory of strength. So, you rest well, right? And then you have those moments. You really want to take advantage of that situation, those conditions. I exercise a lot when I feel really good, like 3-4 hours, right? And then I don't really exercise. It's like therapeutics when like last 2 days, I taught 8 yoga classes and did 5 hours of massage. I'm like groggy. I slept like 8 hours. I'm still very tired. So today, probably an easy day. What memory are you giving your body? Is it exhausted and you're exhausting further? Are you teaching it kind of decent forms in the body? Take advantage. When you feel good, teach it a lot of good memory physically. Do extra exercise when you have extra energy. All right. So we're in down dog. Our next exercise is going to be a plank hold. Just basics, right? So you shift forward to plank, hold position. You can go on your forearms. Easy is go on your knees and your forearms. We call that half plank. Really strong, hovering a foot or even a hand. Maybe you want to add some push-ups. I'm going to do a few chaturangas coming up shortly here, but I'm staying with straight arm hold. What do you want to work on in plank this morning? Yogis, it's a really good exercise, especially if you're coming off like injury. Okay, if you're hovering a foot, maybe you think, I'm gonna give you about a minute here, not too long. So make it a good one, guys. So if you're teaching your body memory, do you want to have your hips dipping down and your back arching? Probably not. You're teaching it that. Body form here, right? A lot of people do this in plank. Boom. This is plank, yogis. It's Tadasana. Boom. People have commented once in a while about like my posture. Oh, it's good. Like, wow, you have good posture. I'm like, but that's only because I'm aware of it. And I apply it like in my body conditioning, what you're doing right now. I'm really resilient, almost too probably crazy about it. But, find a healthy medium. Remember it. Practice remembering that important foundational aspect. Bring it down to the knees, yogis. I want to do one more dynamic here. It's the opposite of what we did on the abdomen. I had you in table. Inhale. Exhale. I'm not going to have you do the front part because you already did it. Just don't let the back arch. Belly in, yogis. Knee down, hand up. It's right leg and left arm. Boom. Boom. Right leg, left leg, right arm. Butt. Okay? It is an aspect of healthy legs to be kind of firm. How do you make your legs firm? The memory, by tightening them in active exercise. So that's a thing we do. Like you literally like feel your muscle. Like maybe you just want to do the legs a rep or two, bring your hand to your butt. Even though muscle is a soft tissue, you don't want it too soft. Okay, the muscle will hurt more if it doesn't activate well to stabilize weight bearing and movement and body weight, right? You are literally trying to activate the muscle, firm. Our glute target, it's quad with glute across the back, okay? Remember your fascia? It runs across like that. So when you lift that leg up, your glute, you should be able to it's like a firm piece of meat, right? Tough piece of meat. Let's keep it going, please. Now, right back to foundations. Down dog, and we'll do a few rounds of chaturangas, not too many. If you're feeling good, challenging variations. Easy variations is this. Child, remember I mentioned knee plank? Down to the chest slowly. Work this, yogis. Work this slow lowering down, maybe even pausing. And then your chest, we call this gentle cobra. Okay, and then you push back through that knee plank table. Child, knee plank, slow lower down. Gentle cobra, maybe full cobra. Child, you guys know the other stuff, right? Vinyasa chaturanga, high plank, low plank, up dog cobra. Only one solid round today, guys. We're making our way up to standing for the close of practice here in a moment. I know some days easy yoga, it can feel like maybe you wish I had a strong yoga today. It could be a waste of time, but I tell you, yogis, as soon as I started taking easier exercise seriously, I was an athlete and I was always doing hard exercise and my body was hurting a lot. I was getting injured a lot. And as soon as I realized like a practice, a separate part of your wellness is just healing, self-care. As soon as I did that, my yoga practice and strength, my goodness, I was a whole different person. I could do so much more, so much easier with so much less injury because I set this intention to heal. It's a whole different strategy. There is no healing in strong exercise. It is damage, but it's necessary. They call that the exercise paradox. Look it up. Know the exercise paradox. All right. It really beats your body up, but it's so necessary for longevity. It actually teaches your body to create less inflammation when you're sitting on the couch. People who don't exercise, you get way more inflammation sitting. And then people who exercise, your body doesn't actually produce as much acids and cortisols and inflammation while you're doing your normal life. Right? It's really an interesting idea, this exercise paradox. I got one more thing for you here, guys. Let's slowly come down to the knees. It's second lateral lift, but static. This is our half moon of class. You did one round dynamic. I'm not doing side plank. You could do that instead. That's a good substitute. Right, left leg lifts, right foot behind me, right hand down, boom, basics. Top arm high, maybe forward. You want more? Maybe you do something like this. Maybe you do something like this. You want less? Foot down. This is a bridge. I am not like this, yogis. Look. Watch. It's like bridge. Nice. Looks good. Just, notice the shoulders if they're too tense. Lost you guys. There we go. Okay, so there's your side body in our ground-based form. Let's slowly do the second side. You're thinking like a plank, like it's like the minute hold, beginners. It's a solid hold for 30 seconds. Coming off injury, you don't really want to strain too much and end hold, but feeling good. The work is the end. Feeling good, the whole thing is, if it doesn't get emotional, it's not changing you much. The more emotional struggle, the more change in adapting in the body. The more in the end of your run, that is when you change. In the end of your stretch hold, that is when you get more flexible. In the end of your strengthening hold is when you get strong. It is not the beginning. We are on the second side of a side body static hold. Some of us adding a little core work or back bend, stretchy bind, bow type position. One simple position to end up this tabletop area. No rush. I'm just gonna sit on my heels, kind of stretch out the ankles. Remember, this is a classic yoga pose called Vajra. And our ankles are bearing our weight. Very important here, yogis. We don't want blockage there. A nice gentle twist. Right hand outside left thigh, left hand behind us. Just notice a nice little lift in the chest. And I turn, look over that left shoulder. Come back to your breathing. Think of it like a mid-class meditation. Listen, yogis, stay twisting to the left. Just look over your right shoulder. So you keep that same twist, but you turn your head to the opposite form of the chest and core. Okay, go slow, please. Slowly release. And second side. I look over the right shoulder. I twist the core to the right, trying to stay on those ankles if you can. And we'll do the second part of the neck rotation. You keep your twist to the right and look to the left. Try to feel that, right? That opposite kind of twisting. Okay, please take your time. Nice job. We're going to kind of shake our feet out. Last time in tabletop. So we did all that stuff in the beginning on the back, right? So we're going to make our way up to standing now, finish standing. If you want to walk and touch your toes, we already kind of did a lot of stuff like that. If you want to take a little yogi squat, how do you want to make your way up today? I'm letting you make a choice because they're all good in certain conditions. We basically already did all that stuff, but one more go here, down dog, either walking forward, going here, right? You did stop stretching. You also did happy baby and plow, maybe. But I'm gonna make my way right up to standing here, guys. All right, you might go a little something like this to loosen up. One solid round of our chair pose. Nothing fancy today. I do fancy stuff too much. Let's get into it. A nice chair. So maybe you feel like you need to move. Body's a little achy and sticky. You could do like a moving squat. You kind of go Tadasana chair. That is classic squat kriya is just as traditional yoga as holding chair posture is. I know certain instructors and styles of yoga tend to choose one. Going in the chair and out of chair to Tadasana, that's called life, like learning to sit down and stand back up. Holding chair is also very good for someone who's moving too much and you want to have those muscles fire in a certain way. So what type of chair do you want to do today? Up and down, hold. Maybe you want to add a little twist or a fancy version lifting your heels. I'm allowing you to make a choice because you get one round of chair today. Make it a good one for your body. Ooh, walking chair, I like that. Chair with wheels. We're not doing like too much movement, so you might have to add a little movement, yogis. Not doing flow today, okay? All right, so we did our chair posture. Stand right up. Think of it like a back bend almost, right? It's like Tadasana, standing posture, little squeeze in the butt, little lift in the chest. A lunge. Left foot goes back. Yogis, we're only doing one lunge. It's simple, slower Sundays. Nice and easy. What type of lunge do you want to do? You could do a warrior two. That's a good one. You could do a twisting lunge. You could do a lunge with the back knee down, a little bit easier, a little stretchier. I'm making you choose today because I don't know what's best. Your intuition knows what's better right now, but it's not necessarily what you like. Too much of that in yoga. Get a good lunge in here, guys. We're all working on breathing, being aware for arching our back, tensing our shoulders. So we're all doing very similar body awareness training.
Where are you tense? Relax a little, please. Where can you activate a little more to support the body? Two people have exited class recently and they're missing the standing strength. I don't know. Standing strength is probably more important than laying and stretching as far as body conditioning. Meditation is probably more important than exercise for everyone in this room, but standing on that feet and making the body upright, able to stand strong on the legs, that's functional strength. Okay, being able to stand up out of bed and walk around all day is called functional strengthening. It's not laying on the back, yogis. All right, let's stand up. Make sure you do your second side. It looks like somebody has switched sides. I want a little bit longer in this one, guys. We didn't do a lot of weight bearing on the legs, and this is your small dose of it. We only have about 12 minutes left in class. So you work hard here in the end. And then we'll be done soon, okay? So you're getting your lunge in here on the second side. You know, there's Kriyas. You know, this, I'm not gonna do, we already did straps, so I'm not doing like pyramids. I'm not doing triangles today. We did a lot of that stuff this week, okay? Get it in, second side, another 30, 45 seconds. Nice. Look at that. Everyone doing beautiful style of lunge. You can't do them all every class, right? Love to see that. Everyone has their personal twist, but we're all kind of together. That's yoga, right? You don't need to be a yoga clone, all right? Next exercise, yogis. We'll stand up. It's an upright balance. You did a chair, squat, you did a lunge. Let's get that upright balance. Most basic would be here. Boom. Tree posture. A little bit more would be here. Strong leg. Lift that knee up. Hold. Okay? Next level could be adding a hinge. So warrior three. Boom. This would be next tier. It is basics. It's beginner yoga. But again, I'm just trying to be a little bit easier one day of the week. You already kind of did this a few times. Strap stretching is one form. Reaching the legs forward and back on your back and table is another form. You don't necessarily need to go there. You can do a balance like this. It's upright. As long as you're upright, excuse me, as long as you're on one leg, that's really what I'm looking for. Upright's easier, bent over stronger. Let me get a nice solid one round in here. Any posture can be made slightly more difficult in balance by closing your eyes. I want to be very clear. You are working towards closing your eyes in any posture you're getting comfortable in. The whole goal is to make it uncomfortable again. You know those first yoga classes you went to? It hurt, it was uncomfortable, you didn't know anything, awkward, everything was new. And then you do yoga for years, and you develop your preferences, and everything gets kind of repetitive. It's not as exciting. You know how you make it exciting and you start over? You close your eyes in every pose. And all of a sudden, you're like a newbie again. And you get way more growth. You do. If it gets too comfortable, you plateau. Your growth goes from up, 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 and slowly it starts to kind of flatten out. And then your growth is here. And then you close your eyes and more neural challenge. Second side, guys. Yeah, shake it out a little bit. These are stiff poses. Come on, get on one foot. You could do 2-foot balance too, as long as you're what we call tonic exercise. Remember phasic, lunge, squat? These are big muscles for sheer strength, joint stabilization, posture. Now the tonic is this. It's like the tonic and phasic, right? It's this kind of like, ugh. It's right. Your main phasic muscle is like your glute max, right? And when you're doing it in your quad, right? So like as soon as I go in a chair, these two tighten. As soon as I go here, this is like soft. This is pretty soft too, because a lot of other muscle fibers have to work here that aren't really working in chair. Very different, very different. If you hinge, it becomes more phasic and tonic, warrior 3. Oh, I love balance. Balance is say I want to exercise one day, I don't have a lot of energy, or I'm sore, just not in the right mind state. I'll do like a whole balance routine. I'll do a lot of this. I'll get on my wobble board. I'll get on the exercise ball. I'll get on like a Bosu ball, and I'll do like literally like an hour of balance. I've tried to mention that. It's like taking a day to do stretch, or taking a day to do cardio, or taking a day to do yoga. Balance is like its whole unique aspect within your exercise routine that's really underdone and can have a profound impact on your longevity, wellness, avoiding injury. Come on, yogis. If your balance isn't good, that's a focus. Just like your strength isn't good, that's a focus. What's your thing? What do you need more of? Okay. All right, yogis. So we are here in the end of standing yoga. We did a nice lunge. We did a nice balance. We did a nice chair. I'm going to give you one more opportunity for one more posture. I'm going to give a lot of options. Nice basic. We kind of already did this, but if you need another inversion, boom, here. And it would be a good time to do like a headstand if you wanted to, okay? Another nice option could be another leg strengthener. Like think about it like another chair, boom, okay? You get into that chair again. So good. We kind of did this already also. Remember we on our bridge and your soles of the feet together are a butterfly? It's very similar pose. Maybe you want a side stretch. Maybe your back's been hurting you. You do something like this. Uh-oh, they all look good, don't they? You can't eat it all though, you gotta pick one. Maybe you need like a just gentle shoulder strengthener. An eagle, a Gomukhasana. They all look good, but you've already done an hour and that's enough. We've done enough, yogis. What's one more standing thing you want to do? Do you want to do a half moon, a triangle? Awesome. We've kind of already did those. Get into it, yogis. What's one, like in the end of class, I'll run our backs and I'll say, what's one more pose that feels really good to you? That you need, that you wish we did? Do it now. You're kind of getting that opportunity standing. You don't only get free time and restorative on your back, you get a little free time upright too. Get into it, yogis. A choice in the moment. That's your own. Ooh, nice. We're basically going to do this, and then I'm going to give like a stretch option, and I'm going to guide you into meditation. We've done, I'm not going to do figure 4 today, I tend to think we do that too much. The glutes are too weak, and then you keep stretching figure 4. I don't know about that. So yogis, standing exercise tends to be strengthening in general, especially how we did it, lunging, balance, and chair. So that's all strengthening. So
So maybe a stretch to end. What we've done all this and this and this, we've done pretty good core stretching, blocks and twists. So I would say maybe a front body stretch if you needed one more, even though it's pretty adequate. So let's make our way down to the ground. Some of you are still going. You do not need to stretch in the end every class. That's also kind of overdone. Yogis stretch too much, okay? I'm gonna do that Virasana because I feel like my front body's tight. I've been working a lot, busy, seated too much. So I'm gonna do this one here where I sit between my heels, bend my knees a lot and lean back. My objective reasoning is because I wanna stretch my quads. I can tell when they start to feel tight, the front of my thighs. We stretched your hamstrings, inner thighs enough. We did both of them. We did quite a few outer hip stretches. We didn't do pigeon, but. So let's take a stretch of choice. This is a good one. Straddle, frog, figure four. Simple. Personal Sundays, a stretch of choice to close out your practice, and then a meditation to end. Don't mind me, yogis. I got my class at 9:15. I'm just cleaning up a little bit here.
And say you're feeling good, no reason to do Shavasana meditation just now. Like I said, extend your practice, turn your music on. You're feeling good after an hour of easier yoga. Maybe you do a few poses on your own now. That self-imposed practice is an important thing to apply some days, learning to push yourself. So maybe when I exit, you just turn your music up and you do 15 more minutes of some strengthening and work. Sometimes light exercise can make you feel really good, and then you want to go a little bit more. That happens a lot. I'll go in, I'll do a gentle practice, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I feel really good now, then I do strong. Okay, so you know what to do here, guys. If you want to sit and meditate, that's fine some days. If you want to lay, most days probably, after exercise, calm. We want to take a stance where we get a nice, in yoga, Shavasana, right? It's like you're going to sleep, but you pause in trance before sleep. So it's called alpha brain. It's where your immune system kicks on, more intuition, more creative, critical thinking, intelligence. There's theta brain, where you're kind of, daydreaming in mystical world. You're trying to shift your brain from beta, like busy, work, analytical, listening, thinking, more into like, all right. Some days it takes 2 minutes to get there. Some days it takes 10. You basically go till you feel really relaxed, comfortable, and then you can exit. All right. So let's get comfortable here. When you're ready, take a deep breath or two, shake your body out. And the goal is to rest. There's no deep breathing. There's no fidgeting. It's quiet time. You're letting your whole being rest for our final position. And yogis, I have my class at 9:15, so I want to leave you here. And good job today. I will have our stronger class on Tuesday, Yoga Core, a class focused on core, 9 a.m. It is recorded. If you ever need me to send it to you, let me know. And don't forget, I have the YouTube link. If you want to do classes on Mondays, I have about 250 classes up on there, previously recorded just for your use, if you'd like. If you need that link, reach out to me. You can use them anytime you like, all right? So have a good Sunday, yogis. Nice job, and thanks for being here. Namaste. Stay in your meditation now.